Okay, now we come to the tree planting side of things. Now we hope that you've done your ripping, you've done your spraying, whether it's spraying the whole tree line or your spot spraying. So the next thing is getting your trees in the ground. Usually that's in the spring or autumn. Planting depends where you are. And I guess we won't go into species selection because that's sort of site specific, but the only thing I can say, you can be really particular with your site selection of species as long as you've done what we've said to this point. If you haven't done any ground prep and haven't done any weed control, your species selection will probably not perform as well, or it won't perform because you're going to have too much competition. Anyway, basically, so you get your seedling. Just a quick thing to look for. Planting, you just want the root ball to be a nice solid root ball on your plant. Nice white roots just indicates that the plant's nice and healthy and ready to go. It means it's still got some vigour there, ready to go when it hits the ground. Now, when we do have done a lot of re-veg planting over the last 25 years, and the key is planting your plant deep. This seedling, I'd try to get the soil level up to there if I can. The deeper the better. Especially at this site here, we're planting going into the autumn. I still plant deep, but if you're planting in the spring, you've really got to try and get your plants in deep. The reason being, if you only plant that deep, the bottom roots here could be that far away from the moisture, but if that's in the bottom of our rip line, if you plant that deep, they're only that far away, they haven't got to do much work to get there. And the old form of planting that level with the top of the ground, all it actually does is act as a wick and sucks the moisture out of here. Now all these little branches and leaves here, they'll die off, and you've got little buds in under the bark there that'll turn into roots. So yeah, I don't know a native where you can't plant deep. The other thing, make sure before you put them in that you've watered your seedlings well. You really want that plug full of water before you go in. So if you're planting through the day, keep your trays of trees nice and wet so they're ready to go. Because all you're doing there is just, as well as what you've got in your rip line stored, you're giving that tree a little supply of water there that'll last it a couple of weeks before any rain, so it's keeping the plant not stressed. Now, most of our plantings we recommend some sort of fertiliser. Today I've just got a slow release fertiliser tablet that will give the tree up to 6 months of fertiliser. The new tablets, you can plant them straight in the ground beside the tree. They won't burn the new roots on the tree. Now, I only recommend fertiliser if you've done go back to the preparation again. We'll always be going back, but if you haven't got your weed control properly, you're not going to get much benefit out of a fertiliser tablets, because if there's green grass there, the grass will get to the fertiliser tablet before the tree will, because they've got quicker metabolism and they've got quicker root system. They'll use that up before the tree does. And all you'll end up with a nice green healthy bit of grass, and the tree will be struggling. So we'll keep going back to ground prep. It's so crucial even with your fertilising. So we're going to go the depth now. A few different ways like to plant. The planting spade, still probably the best to plant with. A bit more bending, but it'll get your plant in nice and deep. The other tool that's used a lot is the potty putki, a planting tube. Basically you drop your tree down the tube, push it into the ground, and then open it up and you've got it planted. These are really good. You want really good ground preparation because you can't get them in as deep as a spade, but they are good. You just got to make sure you've got your depth adjusted as deep as you can so you can get your plant in as deep. Now, I'm sure we can get this in, but So just getting back to the seedlings too, like there's nothing wrong with either of those seedlings, got good healthy roots. Even if I was planting the smaller one, the smaller wattle, we'd be still trying to get him into that depth, even if there's only a little bit showing. There's still, the deeper you can go, the better. We've done jobs over the years where the clients have said, well, where's my trees don't look that big, but they're half buried. So long as you've got a good root base, the smaller seedling will still be fine. Righto, so you're planting, drive your spade in as deep as you can go. The biggest thing with spade planting is make sure you push forward first like that. Come back and you'll see I've created a nice hole. Push it in nice and deep and cover up, and a couple of steps around, get him standing up nice and straight. So you want to be able to have the plant in fairly firm. The main reason, so if you have browsing by kangaroos or wallabies or rabbits or something, at least they've got to give it a fair tug to pull it out. So you want it in nice and firm. Now, the next step is we do recommend tree guards. They're an extra cost, but if you've got any sort of browsing effect from rabbits, hares, kangaroos, wallabies, they will pay off in the long run. Okay, now, yeah, tree guards are definitely worth the money. I'm sure everyone's seen this, the basic plastic sleeve with the 3 bamboo stakes works quite well. The other one that is sort of the upmarket version is the core flute guard, which are extremely good, cost a bit more money, but we've found you'll get a lot more wear out of these. We've used up to 4 trees with the one guard. Once they get out, we take them off and reuse them for the next lot of trees. Now I'll just use the core one for example. So basically pretty simple, just put it over your tree. The ground prep's that good here, I can just push it in by one hand. It depends on the areas that you're with. If you're in a really windy area, we recommend you put a bamboo stake down this side just to stop the tree guard swirling in a high wind event. Now the advantage of the tree guard, as you see, they do take a bit more time, but what we highly recommend is keep them on till you get your tree up to this high, and then you can take them off. But during that time, if you get a weed event coming around your tree, they're ideal to spot spray around your tree while the tree guard's there. Just with a Roundup or something, you keep your weeds down. We recommend, if you've got any sort of weeds there in the first 6 months, to give another spray. And I've had people say, oh, well, I just whippersnipped around them. That's not it. The green grass means they're sucking moisture and nutrient away from your tree. So if you see green, you mean it's taken it away from your tree. So, you know, the tree guards are definitely a little bit more expensive, but in the long term, they really work well, especially again if you've got browsing animals. And you know, they may come in and knock the tip off a plant that comes up here, but they're not going to be able to get in there and kill your plant. So.